See, there are two or three points about Lord Krishna. A couple of them are misunderstandings, that have creeped into our history over this long period of time. We believe that Krishna lived in this country about 5,000 years ago. Okay, so the story has been written and rewritten and then narrated and re-narrated again down the generations. So there have been some changes, some distortions. Okay, so let me discuss a couple of them. Okay, see, the first thing is, it's very interesting that Swamiji talked about this. Okay, so let's begin by saying Jai Sri Krishna.
Jai Sri Krishna.
Yeah. Now, see, the impression that we get from either the pictures, the drawings, or the songs that we listen is that Radha was a lover of Krishna. Okay? So, Swamiji used to tell us that no, that is wrong. The relationship between Krishna and Radha was not that of romance. It was love, but it was not romance. Okay? So Swamiji explained very clearly to us that Radha was the maternal aunt of Lord Krishna. Okay, so that means his father's either sister or cousin who lived in the same village that Krishna grew up at. Okay, so she is an aunt, so she is of much higher age than Krishna. So she is elder to Krishna by several years. Okay. And Swamiji went to the extent of telling us that Radha was an incarnation of goddess Parvati. Okay.
Oh,
she had,
okay.
Yeah, so she took birth when when Mahavishnu took birth as Lord Krishna, he had so much to do, right? He had to destroy so many demons, even as a child, even as an infant, he had to fight Rakshasas and kill them. So many of them, right? So Swamiji told us that Parvati also came down and took birth in the same village as his aunt, so that she can take care of him as he is growing up as a child. Swamiji also used to corroborate his story. He used to say that Krishna left that village, okay, where he grew up. It's called by different names, right? But then, see, Brindavan is also close by. Mathura is a town that is close by, which was the capital of that kingdom, right? And so that is where Kamsa, his uncle, was. Okay. Now, so we are talking of two different families, right? One is Devaki, who is the mother who gave birth to Krishna. So he was actually born to Devaki in the jail. Okay. And Vasudeva brought him to this village. What's the village called?
Is it Mathura that he was?
No. See, yeah. Mathura was the town where Kamsa was ruling. Okay. It was his capital. So he imprisoned.
Okay.
He imprisoned Devaki, who was his sister, Kamsa's own sister, and his brother-in-law, who was Vasudeva. Okay?
Yeah.
So both of them were imprisoned there because Kamsa got to know that Lord Mahavishnu is going to be born to Devaki.
Yeah.
To kill him. Okay?
Yeah.
So what he wanted to do was he wanted to preempt that by killing killing Mahavishnu as soon as he is born.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the reason he kept them in his own kingdom in the jail.
Yeah.
In Mathura. Okay. So that is where Krishna was born. He was born in the jail at midnight. Okay. But then he escaped from the jail. And so Vasudeva carried him in a basket across the river Ganga, across the river Yamuna. And it was on the other side of the river that the village was there where Krishna grew up as a child. Okay. In Telugu, we call it by different names, right? Repalle is one name we give to that village.
Gokula.
Okay, Brindavan is the other name that is given by the North Indians, like that. Okay, so I don't know the exact name of that village where Krishna grew up. So that is where he grew up with the cowherds, as a cowherd. Okay, so Radha was born in that village, in the family of the cowherds, so that she can take care of Krishna when he takes birth and he starts growing up. Okay, now so
Okay.
Swamiji used to corroborate his story by telling us that Krishna left that Repalle, the village where he grew up. He left that village when he was just 8 years old. Okay,
Okay.
so that is the age at which he went to Mathura, killed his uncle Kamsa, and then got his mother, I mean the true mother who gave birth to him, and his father Vasudeva out of the jail.
Okay.
His grandfather was Ugrasena, that is Kamsa's father. So he killed Kamsa and the other Rakshasas by then, and then he returned the kingdom back to Ugrasena, who
Okay.
is his maternal grandfather, Devaki and Kamsa's father. So the kingdom was returned to him, and his father and mother were freed from the jail. So Swamiji used to ask us, I mean, an 8-year child, how can you imagine him to have romance with the gopis and Radha and all that? These are all stories that you people are making up. It didn't really happen then. What really happened then was, this child was a very mischievous child, and he used to play with the ladies, with the women. See, like we see the little children playing with their aunts and mothers and all that, right?
Yeah.
That is how Krishna used to play. So the relationship is that of a mother and a child, okay, aunt and a child.
Good. Good.
See, in India, the practice is the children grow up with the father, and until she is married, the father's sister stays with the father, right?
Yeah.
Stays with her brother and her family until she is married. And when she gets married, she goes away to her in-laws house,
Yes.
right? So until
Yeah.
then, it is actually the maternal aunts who take care of the children in the house.
Yes.
Of course,
Yes.
the mother is there, but the mother is the daughter-in-law of the house, so she has to take care of all the other work also. So it is the aunts who play with the children, okay, who help the children grow up. They give them a bath, they wash them, they do all sorts of things for the sake of the children, and they take care of the children as they are growing up. So this is what happened with Lord Krishna also. Okay, so this is one of the major clarifications that Swamiji gave us. Okay, and it is known very well that Krishna, throughout his adult life, he never returned to that village. Okay, and
Yeah.
he also told us this little point. He said all the gopis and the gopikas there, right? I mean the cowherds and the women there of that village, they were angry that Krishna didn't come back. But at the same time, Swamiji used to tell us, but they didn't miss Krishna because Krishna used to be with them always in the astral form. So he continued to dance with them at the Vrindavan as a child, okay, even while he was away at Mathura, or then he shifted to Gujarat, right? What's the place? The city there? I'm just forgetting the name.
Dwarka.
Dwarka, that's right. Okay. So later on, he moved to Dwarka. But Swamiji used to tell us that the child Krishna continued to stay in his astral form and used to give darshan and dance with them and play with them. Okay. With the gopis and the gopikas of Vrindavan. He continued to do that. Okay.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah. So this is the clarification. Now, the other clarification that Swamiji gave us was about the Bhagavad Gita itself. Okay, and this is also very interesting. I mean, you look at his, I mean, I always wonder how he used to make everything very practical and very natural. Okay, the way he questioned us is, I mean, we believe, and I mean, Gita is like that, right? Bhagavad Gita has 18 chapters. And I think the total number of slokas are something like 900 Am I correct?
Um,
Yes,
Okay.
uncle.
yes.
Yeah. So Swamiji used to ask us, how can you believe that in Kurukshetra, when the war was about to start, Arjuna is there and then Krishna is there, and then they both together, Krishna starts giving a discourse which is like 900 slokas long, and you expect everybody else to just stand there and then just do nothing. Okay? I mean, the war is about to begin, right? The armies are ready. They're about to fight with each other. So
Yeah.
Arjuna just requests Krishna, just take me to the front so that I can take a good look at both the armies. And that's
Yeah.
when he gets dejected. He says, no, these are all my relatives. They are my kin. They
Yeah.
are my uncles, my grandfathers, okay, my own brothers and cousins. Just for the sake of the kingdom, I don't want to kill all of them. Okay? And then Krishna taught him the lesson and then asked him to continue his duty. Okay? It is his duty to fight the war at that time. It was not his duty to let them go and then no. Krishna didn't agree to that. Okay?
Okay.
So Swamiji used to tell us that it is not 18 chapters and 900 slokas. What Krishna told Arjuna at that time was just 18 slokas.
Oh.
Okay. And
18
then
became
afterwards,
900.
right? See, what happens in our literature is, I mean, these words that are spoken by God, normal people may not be able to comprehend them easily, right? I mean, Arjuna
Yes.
probably could have comprehended them easily, but it may not be possible for the general public to understand or comprehend what Krishna was saying to Arjuna. Okay. So for that reason, Vyasa, for that matter, could have explained each of the slokas in the way of a full chapter. So each sloka was expanded into a chapter, and that is how we have 18 chapters and 900 slokas in Gita, okay, as we know it today. But
Yeah.
Swamiji used to tell us, at the time of war, at the time of the Kurukshetra war, Krishna had actually recited only 16 slokas.
Good,
So
good.
the other
Yes.
revelation we got from Swamiji. Okay.